I think it's safe to say we're in for a new era of comic book movies. Hello, everybody, GamingOtakuGeek here, and we are off the heels of both Superman and Fantastic Four First Steps, which were both phenomenal movies. With that being said, I wanted to give my thoughts on both films, so let's dive into them, shall we? Worry not, for I will not be delving into spoilers. I'm just going to give my surface level thoughts on both of these films and how I think they're going to impact the superhero movie genre moving forward. When it comes to Superman, we knew this was going to be a new beginning, especially given the fact that the DCEU was a sinking ship. And no matter the attempts Warner Brothers made at keeping that particular cinematic universe afloat, we all know it was a doomed vessel, a doomed voyage, a doomed endeavor, as it were. Despite their best efforts, because of all of the mismanagement and all of the behind-the-scenes chaos, Warner Brothers was not able to salvage what could have been an extensive cinematic universe in the vein of the MCU. And so, a reset was needed. And of course, who better to shepherd this new era of DC movies than James Gunn, who had already proven himself with The Suicide Squad and prior to that, the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy and holiday special in the MCU. So of course, this was a no-brainer. And of course, he'd done season 1 of Peacemaker. So, when Superman was first announced, I was genuinely excited to see what Gunn would bring to the table. And when the first trailer dropped, I was not disappointed. Just that one shot of Superman coming in to save the little girl, that was enough. And so the wait began, and when July 11th finally came around, oh boy, I had a hell of a time. Superman really brought to mind the comic book movies that we grew up watching in the early 2000s. Colorful, vibrant, full of action, but also full of heart. Which, at its core, is what makes Superman so special. James Gunn understood the assignment, and he knew that in order to be able to make this iteration different from what had come before, he had to go back to the Man of Steel's roots, rooted in kindness, rooted in doing the right thing, and rooted in being a good person. The movie basically tackles what it means to be a kind person in a world that is often unkind, and who better to represent that than the Man of Steel himself. And honestly, one of my favorite aspects of this movie is that it introduces us to Clark. It introduces us to Superman already into his career as a superhero. The world around him is already established. Metahumans have been a thing, and it just adds a layer of world building that makes everything feel so enriched and so alive. Like the world feels so lived in. And I absolutely love that. Like, yeah, the Justice Gang have been around, and we didn't need to know any particular details about them, just that they've been around and they've been helping save people. And that Superman happens to interact with them, that's so cool. I love that. And despite the numerous amount of characters, the focus was still able to be particularly set on Superman. And I absolutely love that. And by the time the movie was over, I just wanted more. And I told myself, and I told my friends as well, if this is the quality of work that we can expect from James Gunn's DCU, oh, I am ready, I am seated, and I'm just prepared for everything that's coming afterward. I know that we're supposed to get Lanterns, we're supposed to get Clayface, Batman the Brave and the Bold, and so on and so forth. I am ready for the ride. And with James Gunn taking great care and great lengths to ensure that his vision and the visions of the numerous directors, the numerous producers involved with these projects are fully fleshed out and realized, we are going to have a very well-done cinematic universe, and I cannot wait. The biggest takeaway of this movie, though, is that I came out of it with a smile on my face. I came out of it with hope. Because this is the type of movie that really makes you see the world in a different light and makes you want to be a better person. And it's really done its job because so many people out there have this renewed sense of purpose and this renewed zest for life, as it were, because we've been witnessing so much cynicism, so much distress, so much anger, so much frustration, and, so much anxiety in the world. And with a movie like Superman, it reminds us that kindness, goodwill, And just doing the right thing and hoping for a better tomorrow can definitely be able to help uplift us from our low points, from the darkness that we may be feeling inside of us, from anything that we may be going through. And I absolutely love that. And the fact that this movie was able to make me feel that way is nothing short of phenomenal. And James Gunn and crew definitely understood the assignment. The cast understood their roles, and everyone did a fantastic job. I am eagerly looking forward to more. And now we switch over to the MCU. With the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's fair to say, well, more than fair to say, that the quality has not been the best as of late. Ever since Endgame, Marvel has struggled to retain the consistency that they did throughout the Infinity Saga. Yes, with the Multiverse Saga, they opened the doors to so many crossovers, to so many possibilities that we thought would never happen. And yeah, it's been great. It hasn't been perfect, but it's been pretty good. I have enjoyed most of the content that they put out. There's maybe probably like 2-3 shows that I am behind on that I have not watched, but I have kept up with the movies if I'm not mistaken. As countless others have said before me, the consistency has not been there. The consistency that existed in the Infinity Saga, where everything felt interconnected, where everything was leading up to a big major reveal, a big major revelation, or just teasing the next big development in this ongoing saga, the Multiverse Saga has not had that consistency. And that's something that has really turned off and turned away a lot of the fandom. It is the unfortunate case that most of the new characters that have been introduced have barely appeared or even been mentioned at all. I mean, Shang-Chi came out in 2021, if I'm not mistaken, and we have yet to see this man again. Heck, I don't think he's even been mentioned now that I think about it. And with the push from Disney to churn out content constantly, that really hurt the momentum of the MCU because they had to rush out content to be able to meet the demands of Disney Plus and to meet the theatrical demands of having 3 to 4 films in a year, which I felt was too much. 2 was the perfect amount, 3 was a perfect maximum. And unfortunately, that just led to people feeling burnt out from the oversaturation because then they felt that this was extra homework that they had to do just to keep up with what's currently going on in the Multiverse Saga. And I can understand the frustrations. While I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I have enjoyed its content since 2008's Iron Man, I can't cover the sun with my hand. It has its flaws, but it is a beautifully flawed product, but one that I see is definitely on the upper trajectory of getting better. For instance, this year we got back to 3 cinematic releases, which I feel is a perfect balance. We got Brave New World, which I thought was an actually pretty good movie. That movie definitely has more haters than not, but I personally enjoyed it. It definitely gave me Winter Soldier vibes, and I was pleasantly surprised to see shades of the Incredible Hulk in there, as it was technically a spiritual successor, a spiritual sequel to that movie. Kind of strange, though, that they didn't have Bruce Banner in it at all. Just saying. Then Thunderbolts released, and oh my god, I loved that movie so much. It was such a breath of fresh air. It was basically Marvel's version of Suicide Squad, and this movie, it could have had a lot of action, but it didn't need to. It was very character-driven, which I absolutely loved. The character dynamics, the stories, the trauma, everything, and the fact that it was darker in tone, and that it allowed the serious moments to sit, simply phenomenal. And then we arrived to Fantastic Four: First Steps. When I saw the trailer for this movie, I was genuinely excited because it looked so different from anything else we had gotten before. The retro-futuristic vibes, the old school setting of it all, and just having Marvel's first family be front and center, and the movie promising to focus on their dynamic as a family, and finally doing Galactus justice. It had me absolutely excited. I honestly, did not care that Shala Bal was the Silver Surfer we got instead of Norrin Rad. I honestly didn't mind that at all. And just like with Superman, on opening night of First Steps, I went in expecting a grand old time, and I came out immensely satisfied. The most refreshingly surprising thing about this film is the fact that it's self-contained. Yes, it takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but you do not need to have watched anything prior in order to understand what's going on in this movie. The plot, the story, the stakes that are particular to First Steps are only relative to this film, and I love it for that. Because let's face it, trying to get into the MCU now is quite the daunting task. But for any newcomer, First Steps is a perfect jumping in point because you can be able to enjoy this movie as a solo experience and not have to worry about what came before or what comes after. If anything, it'll get you curious to check out everything that's come before in order to, get even more hyped for what comes after. The family dynamics were perfectly captured. The characters were perfectly cast, and I cannot state enough how happy I am that Galactus was finally done justice. He was not a cloud like Rise and the Silver Surfer. He was actually the giant that he is portrayed as in the comics with the horn helmet. Well, I mean, technically they're not horns, but you know what I mean. The helmet and all. And Ralph Ineson just gave us this absolutely bone-chilling performance that, oh my god, I'm just gushing about it, just thinking about it. And just like Superman had the strong, resonant theme of kindness throughout the film's runtime, First Steps had its focus on family and the importance of it. Because yes, this movie's themes center strongly on family dynamics, bonds of brotherhood, parental bonds, and, just the togetherness, just the unity of a family unit. And I absolutely love that. The movie was able to showcase a parallel universe to the mainline MCU, and when it was able to give us a vision of what a separate universe is like, with no other heroes except the Fantastic Four. Because in their universe, I believe it's Universe 828, they're the only superheroes in existence, so it's so fascinating to see it from that context. Watching First Steps really filled me with a sense of awe and wonderment. Because, again, just like with Superman, it called to mind movies from the early 2000s, and again, I just love the fact that First Steps was also vibrant, it was also colorful, it was not afraid to wear its comic book influence on its sleeve. Because, of course, they are an adaptation of a comic book. So, why not have the colors? Why not have the spectacle? Why not have some of the innate goofiness? It is simply fantastic. There, I said it. You happy now? You were probably waiting for this the entire video. It really set the stage for what to expect from this team in the future. And of course, with Brand New Day having started filming, and with Doomsday on the horizon as well for next year, oh, we are in for a treat, and I cannot wait to see how the multiverse saga is going to come to a head with these upcoming 2 movies, and of course, Secret Wars in 2027. All this to say, First Steps was an amazing and incredible adaptation of Marvel's first family, and I can't wait to see more of them. I can't wait to see more of their world. I cannot wait to see more of their dynamics, of how they handle situations together, and how Franklin is going to really measure up in all of this because he's supposed to be one of the most powerful beings in all of existence. You know what I'm saying? All this to say, I am really happy that both of these movies are succeeding. Both of them are doing really well in the box office, and I feel that the whole thing about superhero fatigue, because it's not that people are tired of superhero movies, they're just tired of mediocre superhero movies. But with Superman and Fantastic Four First Steps providing quality experiences for moviegoers, I think it's safe to say that we're in a transitionary period of course correction, where we're finally going to be getting more consistently great products. And all I've got to say to that is that thanks to these 2 movies, the future of the superhero genre is looking super fantastic. But yes, those are my thoughts. Did you watch Superman? Did you watch Fantastic Four First Steps? Did you watch both? Because, I mean, hey, there's nothing wrong with being a fan of both Marvel and DC. I'm more so of a Marvel fan myself, but I'm not going to say no to a good DC movie when it comes my way, you know? Anywho, that is a wrap. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And until next time, this is Gaming Otaku Geek, signing out.